Jason Wilcox on where Manchester United are going. He goes, I really feel like now this football club is moving in the right direction. And this is my personal view. This is not base view because I'm working here. I look at every department and I'm going to talk about sporting department only because it's unfair for me to talk about any other departments. But when I think about sporting department, we are making progress in every area. In every single area, we are making progress. The fans have been a huge contributor to making sure we can make the right decisions. And ultimately, our planned idea is to get back to winning for them. They are a huge part of the football club. Part of the history is one of the things. But fans, the generation that come to Old Trafford, this is something special. You can't begin to explain it. It's something special. It's something special, man. Shout out to Rance in the building.
Hey, big up,
something
man.
special, BS side. You don't give a damn about me or you or any fans, whether local, national, or global. It's just a lot of PR BS, man. Like, if you really cared about this, why do we have fucking Bruno Fernandes and Casemiro in midfield?
True.
Why can't this football club sign an actual somebody? If you want me to believe what I'm believing, go and get a left wing back. Go and get a left wing back in January. Go and get somebody that actually can put balls in the box for these men to eat. Go and do that. Don't talk to me about this and that and about what's special. Yo, we know we're special, man. It says it on top of the Stretford end. You know what I mean? It says it there. You know what I mean?
Doesn't feel
we
like
know we're special. We know we're special, but don't. You played for Flipping. You played for Blackburn, who are our rivals. You went to your career was at Leeds, who hate us, and now you're waffling to me, man. So don't waffle to me. Let me see. Let's talk more action. I've never been about talking about people don't communicate. I always think the owner should talk, but because the responsibility always lies with the owners. I want to hear from the Glazers. I don't want to hear from you because you ain't got no decision, mate. You ain't got no decision. And you know me, waffles, but 28%. He talks a lot for somebody who's only got 28% of the football club. Let's put it that way. Because the Glazers have always given the silent treatment to do what they were doing. But if you want me to believe how special the fans are, yo, we're divided, man. We are concussed. You want a real truth. You just want to get the top Reds on side. You know what I mean? That's all that was. That's not for me. You're not talking to me. You talk to me by what you do, the business that you do, the players that you bring in, the players that you get rid. That's how you convince me. You don't convince me by giving me flowery language, man. Because if you want, come and meet real journalists. Let people interview. Why can't you and Rand sit down with him? Why can't you ask him questions? Why can't you, one of you, or somebody who's a real genuine fan, talk to him? Other than having propaganda MUTV, man. I'm not here for it. But the only way to me is action. I want to see it. Action. Now, how are you letting this, as a director of football, Wilcox, how are you letting Amarim commit murder shit every weekend, mate? Win or lose or draw. Some of the decisions he makes are awful. I don't care what anybody says. What kind of some people don't know, but directors of football, after the weekend on a Monday morning, they have a meeting with a coach. We've never had that at Manchester United. But directors of football everywhere have meetings with coaches and managers and say to them, what was that about? Can you explain the game plan to me?
Yeah,
Can you explain what was going on? Can you explain why we've got the squad that we have and you're not bringing people on a football pitch? Every game has its own story. Every game has their own story. Because you got boo criticism. You got bit of criticism. Boo fucking who, Amarim. That's what you're in the job for. You chose to be in the hot seat, mate. Listen, the jobs in the world in terms of Manchester United manager, and maybe the Brazil manager, in terms of scrutiny, what comes with that. So you chose to get into that, mate. You chose to sit on that table and take that money. So don't come out and insult fans' intelligence by telling us, well, I think he's got more of a, Sesko's got more of a, Sesko didn't entirely touch the ball in the second half, man. What are we doing? I'm seeing it with my own eyes. We watched it there and then started it in real time and calling out some of these woeful tactics. So talk to me about that, Wilcox. Tell me you've told this coach, better fix up, pal. Get players on the pitch when players have gassed out. How many of us have been watching Casemiro last season, this season? After 60 minutes, he's done out here, man. Because he gives a lot. He runs a lot. In this system, demands him to run a lot. So he's gassed out here. Why didn't he make the changes?
Yeah. Let me continue the quotes.
Big up Marcel.
Yeah, big up Marcel as well. Big up Rance as well.
Big up, guys. Big up.
He says here, Jason Wilcox on the senior decisions being made at United. All we are doing now is making sure we make decisions for the football club and not for the benefit, not for the short-term protection of ourselves. We're making some really bold decisions for the future of United. United is bigger than any player, any manager, any staff member. We are custodians, if you like, and we've got to understand that at some point our journey will end inevitably. We need to make sure that when we leave this football club, whenever that is, I hope I am here for a long, long time, and the football club is in a much better position. It carries on to say, Ruben Amorim has a clear, very clear, it's a lot more flexible than people give it credit for. We're building a picture, and we'd love to complete the jigsaw of the game model. And then here he says, I think I've read that one there as well. So to be fair, it's a 50-minute long interview, but there is like a case of like, you know what, man, they are moving in the right direction, Rants. But like, where do you look at it? Like, it's because I'm not gonna lie to you, out of all the the guys in Ineos here, I've always said that my man here has got a footballing kind of like background in it. And if they were to give him more power, maybe just how Manchester United would make more decisions better. Where do you kind of stand with like kind of Jason Wilcox and what his involvement is, and you know what I mean, and what he's kind of telling everyone in that regards?
I think Wilcox is great. Like I said, from the moment we brought him in, I think he's great for the club. But I would definitely like to understand just exactly how much power he does have. You know what I'm saying? I'd love to understand that. I'd love to understand his job description, because it doesn't come across like a normal DOF job. You know what I mean? Because we hear way too much from him. You know what I'm saying? So I want to know what he's in charge of, what he does. Do you know what I mean? His relationship with the owners, because even the stuff with the manager stuff, it's weird, isn't it? Like, I have no doubt that Wilcox understands football, but he spoke about a game model even before this manager came in. You know what I'm saying? But nobody's told us what this game model is. So is it just a soundbite, bro? What is the game model? You know, like what actually is it? I would like to know that. And I think that people interviewing him should ask him, all right, cool, we hear about this game model. What is it? Because under Ten Hag, the style of football was one thing. Under him, it's a different style of football, if you can call it a style. I don't really know what we're doing at the moment. Obviously, everyone talks about the system, but the actual brand of football, like, we don't know what team we are. Like, we're not a possession team. I wouldn't say we're particularly good defensively to be a defensive team. We're not great in transition. We're not really great at anything, to be honest. Like, so, like, what is the game model? Like, I don't understand what the model is. This is the main thing. Obviously, the model has nothing to do with the actual formation, because you can play with a certain intent in any system. But what's the intent? Like, I'm struggling, bro. Like, I'm struggling to understand what we do. The only thing I say that we do well is at the moment we're recruiting well. That's about it. But in terms of on the pitch, I don't know what we're doing, bro. Honestly.
You know, for me, when I look at it, I think it's to build a platform for any managers to succeed and not let any excuses kind of. I know you might say, but if you look at the recruitment, Marcella, I think they're giving the platform for a manager to succeed. Yeah, cool, we didn't buy a midfielder, but a lot of it was down to the fact that we kept Bruno Fernandes. Let's be honest, like, you know what I mean? There was Obrigado FC tax on that one there.
Why did we keep him? My guy was working.
We kept him because
keep him as well. I think personally,
exactly. So I think we kept him because of the manager, and I think when you're trying to purchase players for the future, you also have to add in the manager's kind of ideas and mindset for that, you know, in that particular time. So I think when we're speaking about Ineos and Wilcox, we're speaking about somebody that's purchasing directly for this manager because they're backing this manager. It was, you know, those quotes there are really interesting in terms of the future of the club and the direction that the club's going in and what they're trying to do. Whether they're executing that well like what Nuruddin's kind of alluding to is I understand it. Like, you know, action's going to speak louder than words, and you know, the next 60 days, 50 days or so, that January window is vital for them to back what he's saying there. But everything sounds very good. Everything sounds
But
very.
Marcel, you see when you
very,
said about backing the manager, yeah, aren't you backing the manager better by saying to the manager, listen, we've got an offer on the table for Bruno. Say it's £85 million. We
Yeah.
sell Bruno, I can get you Belabor and Anderson. If you say that to the manager, we're having a different conversation. And then if the manager says, nah, I just want to keep Bruno, bun them two, then I know I'm sacking the manager because you're not thinking about the club. Do you know what I mean? So for me, it's an easy conversation. Like, if you want to keep your mate here instead of improving the squad for the betterment of the squad and moving us forward, then it tells me that you don't have a long-term plan for this football club, innit? Like, but I don't think that they've gone to him and said, you know what, like, we've got an offer for Bruno, we want to take it, and this is what you'll get in return. It seems like they just said to him, yo, there's an offer for Bruno, and he said, nah. And that was the end of it. That's irresponsible.
I think there's a combination of.
Marcel, 1 second. I just want to add one caveat to what Ran said. Ran, Bruno Fernandes came out in an interview and said, the club don't need the money. He went into detail and said, the club don't need the money. And then in the latest interview that he did with Sky Sports a couple of weeks ago, he said, yeah, I'm going to decide after the World Cup.
Yeah.
So the man, his agent was talking to that team in Saudi for 15 days. And then we had him come out and say, well, the coaches, well, he said, the club said they don't need the money. So my guy was open to that. And he told us how he spoke to his wife. And
he was open to leaving. Care. He was. But here's the thing, Nuruddin, though. The thing about the club not needing the money, yeah, I think that was the club, yeah, basically saying to Bruno, don't try and use us as the reason why you want to leave. Because Bruno come out, remember, last game of the season, he said, oh, like, basically, yeah, we'll see what happens, like, if they want me, this, that, and the other, and said something about, oh, they might want to sell him, insinuating that they need to raise money. So the club came out and was like, nah, bruv, like, we don't need to sell you to raise money, so don't try to use us as the excuse. If you want to leave, you can fucking leave, but don't say we're trying to sell you because we need the money, because it doesn't make us look good, innit? It makes us look like, man, are poor and we're begging, and it was never that, because we bought Cunha even before we sold anyone, and that was on last year's books, so that means the books were healthy enough to still sign players, innit? And I think Bruno was trying to use the club need money as a way to kind of slide out the back door and people to not really try and hold him accountable for that, innit? And I think they called his bluff on it. So, like you said, you don't speak to a club and it was over a month from what I've heard. You know what I mean? Because man was talking about kids' schools and all these other things. You don't do all that to then turn around last minute and say, actually, never wanted to go anyway. Like, no one's stupid. You know what I'm saying? No one's stupid. You don't have conversations for that long